Here's an ambulance call I attended around 20 years ago. And I remember it was around 8 o'clock at night, December 17th. And we had a call for motor vehicle collision. And as we pulled up with our ambulance, we gained access to the vehicle. And the first person I came to was a 10-year-old boy. He was obviously dead. We dragged him out of the vehicle to assess his father, who was laying next to him. The dad was also dead. So after about an hour of helping clean up and extricate the bodies, we went back to the firehouse. A couple of days later, the police came, and they started telling us what happened after. And they went to the house where these people lived, and they knocked on the door to give the people who lived there the bad news. This lady answered the door. She couldn't speak a word of English. She was the mother of this child and the wife of the husband. She knew, though, something was horribly wrong. It took the police about 2 hours to track down an interpreter, and then they gave her the bad news. This poor lady had just arrived with her family from Poland 6 weeks earlier. She didn't know anyone in the city. She was all alone right before Christmas. A couple days later, her husband made the news again because a blood test showed that his alcohol limit was 4 times over the legal limit. 4 times. He was dead drunk when he was driving. So that day, that 10-year-old boy and his dad became statistics. They became part of the numbers that make up the grand total number of people who have been affected by drunk driving. We all know someone who's died in a motor vehicle collision, a drowning, or some other kind of incident. Now, if we were close to those people, it hurt. Then death has touched us. You know, we read about a fatality in a newspaper, or we see a bunch of statistics in the paper. Dealing with injuries and fatalities is no big deal. It doesn't really matter. We read it, and we throw it away, and we just go about our day. We see statistics, and they don't sink in. We don't put a face to the number unless you knew someone who became one of those numbers. Think about this. Every number you see when you look at statistics were more than numbers. They were mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, sons, and daughters. So here's the point. The next time you look at statistics, take a second to think about the numbers and the people they represent. Statistics are more than numbers. They are people. Just ask the woman in the story I told you at the start. They weren't numbers. They weren't statistics. They were her husband and her only child. They were her life. I'm Martin Lesfrance.